Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming with the new Simply Posh Cozy Cabin collection. So if you guys want to see swatches, an eye look, and hear my first impression thoughts as well as some comparisons, then just keep watching. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name is KARENHARRIS. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on YouTube. I do post quite often, so highly recommend subscribing, turning on that bell so you're notified every time I post, and without further blabbering, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm so pumped because Simply Posh started sneak peeking their holiday palettes, and I was like, oh my goodness, what's it gonna be? And then they revealed like this full cover, and I was like totally in my feelings because we had snow, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is like the most perfect like cabin feeling palette. And then we saw the inside and I was even more excited. So I'm so happy that they sent this collection my way. And I am an affiliate of the brand, so you can use my code KHMAKEUP if you want to pick this up. It is launching on the 6th of November at 3 p.m. Central Time, which is my time zone. I will definitely put up a community tab post so you guys don't miss it. So the palette retails for $45, and I think I saw that the blush palette retails for $40. And usually Simply Posh does offer their eyeshadows in single formats if you don't want to buy the mattes, or however you want to like mix and match, or if there's any special shades you want to buy, they usually offer them as singles. So keep that in mind. I haven't seen anything whether that's gonna be the case with this palette, but if you are maybe not wanting all of the shades, that is an option too, typically, not confirming, but I will try and put any information I have in the description box. And I was thinking that would be really handy for the blush palette, because I did swatch the blush palette and I'm sure you're seeing all the close-ups and stuff. And the thing with the blush palette, I love blush, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the shades are very, very similar, even on my skin tone. Like Warm Wishes and Cozy Up look very close. So I love that they did different options for different skin tones, but I also feel like some of them look very similar. So maybe you don't need this entire face palette. So I do hope that they're offering these as singles, because then you can like do some mixing and matching and pick the shade that's your favorite instead of buying an entire palette. So those are some of the thoughts I have just initially without even putting anything on my face. But I do have like foundation and bronzer on, so let's go ahead and get into an eye look and let's put on some of this gorgeous makeup. Okay, so the entire time I've been swatching this, I've been debating like what kind of eye look to do, and I feel that I am fully committed to the holiday spirit right now. So we're gonna do something traditional, something very Christmassy. I would love to do multiple looks, but I'm a little short on time. I've just been, listen, can we just talk about my state right now? I feel like I'm a little bit run ragged. My parents moved here. I don't know if you guys saw, but my parents moved here from out of the country. And, naive as I was, I thought like, oh, once my parents get here, it's going to be great, because they're currently like living with us until they find like their own spot and things like that. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be so great. They're going to be able to watch my kids while I film, and I'm just going to have all this spare time. But honestly, it's so different from before. Like when they come visit, when it was just me and my husband, like it was so chill. But now it's just like so complicated with having so many people, first of all, living in one place. And then when there's kids and parenting and routines that are getting thrown off, and daylight savings and sleep training and teething and just being two and a baby and all of the things, it's just been way harder than I ever imagined. And I remember thinking when I was having kids and I was kind of on my own, or it was just like me and my husband, I was like, oh man, like I wish my family was here because they could totally help me out. But now you see the other side of it, that it's a lot, and I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason, and I feel like I've definitely seen that maybe it was a blessing in disguise that we kind of went through what we went through with being out here on our own. But it's great. I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying it's just those things you don't think about, right? So I just took the shade called Fireplace and I just built that up in the crease. And I really, really, really want to play with this shadow called Snowfall. It's a beautiful like evergreen, like tealy green blue shade. And I just thought that would be absolutely stunning in the outer corner. So I've been loving this Unearthly brush. You guys asked me what this brush was and I said it's one of the Unearthly eyeshadow brushes, and I thought maybe I got it in the green eyeshadow set, or like in her green brush set, but I'm realizing that they also did some like extensions to the green eyebrush set line, and I feel like this was one that they sold as like a single. It wasn't in that set, so I don't really know if like we can buy this on its own or if it's included in the set. I don't think it's in the set because I did look. How many times am I going to say the word set? Anyway, I'm talking about brush sets. So I don't think you can buy this anymore. But if you have it, listen, I just feel like it's such a game changer if you love to do that like angled, almost like a faux wing look on the outer corner. This is so nice because it has like a angle to the bristles, and I just use that to create this like pointed look on the outer corner, which I have just been loving so much. I don't know why, and I'm sure it'll change as time goes on, but I've just been so into it, and this brush just makes it so easy because it has that like edge to it. So yeah, I just wanted to do a little bit of mixing, a little bit of matching, something festive. So those are kind of the mattes I want to use, but let's pop on a shimmer shade and then finish off the look. So I swatched obviously the entire palette. I did swatch it kind of by rows because they're like a monochromatic story, and I thought it would be fun to see the shadows kind of next to a shimmer. So I really want to play with this shade called Angel. It's like the most beautiful like blue purpley shadow. It's the shimmer shade that kind of stood out to me. It's a periwinkle, so I don't know if it'll totally clash with the mattes I chose, but I just thought it was so impactful that I needed to put it on my lid. So wish me luck. Everybody say a little, I'm just kidding. Everybody say a little prayer. We're going to spray this puppy and we're going to lay it down on my lid. Oh, that's such a pretty color. Yeah, it's definitely very like purpley blue. So it goes really nicely with the teal, and I mean, the red is really pulling out the purple in it, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I just wanted to do something a little bit different because I was definitely like, oh, I should do a neutral look because it definitely feels like a half neutral, half colorful palette. But then I was like, you know what? Let me try this combo. Let me try something different. And you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And you know, what's important is that we roll with it. But I feel very festive and I'm so excited to be able to try this palette. When I was out, when I was like on maternity leave, you know, for that second that I was gone, just kidding. I got two of their palettes in PR, their summer palette and then their first palette, which I think is called like Fairy Floric. I don't know how, if I'm saying that right or wrong, but I got those in the mail and I was so sad because I tried to catch up, but time just went by. So I still have those two palettes that I want to do something with, like maybe one of those videos where it's like multiple looks with multiple palettes. So I might still do that in the future if you guys are still interested. But yeah, I'm so happy she sent me the Cozy Cabin because I really wanted to have something with it on my channel. And yeah, I know that there's a few other holiday collections that are coming this week too, so definitely stay tuned, keep your eyes peeled on the YouTubes because it's gonna be a fun week. It's gonna be a very fun week. So okay, I feel like I could do a better job of blending the mattes, but let's go ahead and work on the lower lash line quick. Okay, so I know a lot of people don't love white in the waterline, but I love using white to brighten up any of my eye looks. So this is from Tarte. I just got this during their early Black Friday sale in the shade white. It's the fake white. They have it in a nude, but I wanted to try the white, so that is what is in the waterline. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing that I did on the crease on the lower lash line as well, but I kind of want to grab this shade called Tradition just to kind of lighten up the inner corner, and I'm just gonna run that right here. These mattes are so pigmented. I am so happy with how well they're showing up on my skin tone. And then I think I'm going to take Fireplace, which is the kind of matte red, and apply that kind of on the middle part of the lower lash line. And then for the outer corner, I'm going to take the shade Snowfall, which is what's on the outer half of my crease, and just run that from the outer corner into the waterline. I love having that kind of connection there. So I'm just moving it back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so this is the look so far. I kind of want to add a wing liner. I've been really into wing liners lately, so we'll see if I decide to do that. But let's go ahead and play with the blush palette. I think if you know me, you know that this shade Cozy Up just needs to be on this face. So let's go ahead and apply that on the cheeks. Okay, so I'm going to use my Sigma F36. This is in my Sigma favorite set, and oh my gosh, this is so pigmented. So I'm just going to maybe just dust it off a bit on the back of my hand because I don't want it to be too bright right away, right? I'd rather just like build it up. Ooh, I love shades like this, especially for the winter, because it looks like I've been outside and I got a little bit of a rosy cheek vibe. Just giving it a good blend. And I'm going to go into the shade Snug, which is the lighter pink, and we're just going to go over the brighter color just to give it more of a tone down effect. Love that for me. Oh my gosh, so pigmented, so be aware. So for highlighter, I'm going to use the shade Miracle, which is the champagne kind of shade in the palette. And I'm just, oh, I was going to put some on the brow bone and then I last minute changed my mind. But holy moly, this is a very pigmented highlighter, so be aware of that. I think it got a little bit wild on this side. So I think if you're my skin tone, you could probably go with the shade called Sweater Weather. Miracle is a little bit of a lighter champagne, so it's looking a little bit intense, but I accidentally brought it down far too low on my cheek, so I'm going to need to fix that because it looks a little wild and that was not intentional. Okay, so I feel really bad about messing up my highlighter. Hopefully you guys just pay attention to this side. This side worked out the way I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and find a lip shade, throw on some mascara, do something with this hair, and I will be right back to show you guys the finished look. Okay, friends, so here is the finished look. What do we think? Oh my goodness. I'm feeling all kinds of festive. I had to put on my Sweater Weather earrings. I got these from Target, I think last year, but they have a different version, I believe, online. I'll try and link it for you guys, but they have all of their holiday earrings out now, so if you were interested, you can match me. So let's go ahead and compare the Cozy Cabin palette to some of the existing palettes that I have from Simply Posh, just for funsies. I believe this is the first one they ever sent me from PR, and this is also kind of like a blue, brown, like red tone palette, but as you can see, the Cozy Cabin palette has a few more greens, so it's more of that winter woodsy vibe versus this one's definitely more of that. I mean, the covers I feel like really represent what's going on the inside, so there's those two next to each other. I also grabbed Genuine Gems, and these two feel quite similar, just side by side or one on top of the other. I will say the metallics in this one are absolutely fantastic, and I do believe Cozy Cabin is also limited edition, so I'm not sure what is in stock on their website, but in case you missed out on this one, maybe you want to check out the new palette. I also have Fairy Floric here, and these two also look a little bit similar. I was sent this, but I think this is the one that she had like a bad batch or something. I haven't played with this yet, but I did share information on it on my Instagram when there was like a thing with some of these eyeshadow palettes, but I haven't tried my copy yet, so I will keep you guys posted. But here these are next to each other in case you were wondering. And then last but certainly not least is the Citrus Crush palette. This is the one that launched right about the time I had my daughter, so I wasn't able to play with it. It's been sitting in my basket of shame to film with eventually, but I never got around to it. So at least now I can show you guys side by sides of these. But how cute. Did I call it Citrus Crush? It's Citrus Punch. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. I'm just a hot mess, y'all. And then typically I never compare indie brands to each other because they're small brands and they're small businesses. I don't want to take away from one or the other, but I don't believe you can buy the Nomad Haunted Europe palette anymore. So I just wanted to show you guys these two next to each other just in case you missed out on the Nomad palette. You could grab this one. And so yeah, it does look similar. I wouldn't say exactly the same, but also in the Nomad palette, the colors aren't laid out in the same fashion as Simply Posh does. So there's those two. And then I did also grab my Ghost Town USA palette because that's the other one that so many of you were saying this one was similar to. I will say Ghost Town I think looks a little bit more muted than the Cozy Cabin. But I also understand that people are trying really hard not to buy every single palette under the sun right now. So hopefully that was helpful to you guys. I'm always so grateful that brands send me things to try out because you guys value my opinions and you watch my videos and you support. So I do appreciate that. I hope seeing those comparisons was helpful to y'all. Now let's go ahead and just chat about these two palettes. Like I said when I was demoing this, the cheek palette is very, very pigmented, so you definitely want to go easy on it. I like that they gave us options for different skin tones, so we have a light blush to a more deep blush, so that's nice. I would love to know, and maybe if you guys know, let us know in the comments if these are going to be sold individually, because I feel like if you get this whole palette, like that's awesome, because if you're a blush lover like me, this is perfect, and you of course want to have like every single shade of blush ever. But if you just want one or two, hopefully they're going to offer them as singles. The highlighters are very pigmented. I feel like I thought Miracle would work on me. I feel like it's just a hair light, so I wish I'd gone for sweater weather, but that's okay. Overall, a very cute palette. Very, very similar though when you see the swatches. Hopefully it'll help you decide if you need all those colors or not. Now for me, definitely the star of the show is the palette. The mattes were so beautiful. I mean, I don't know what all these indie brands are doing, but they're really nailing their matte formula, and it's making me so happy because I love shimmers, but I also love a good matte, and these just worked so well. They were so easy to blend and build up, and like to get this crisp outer corner, I feel like I really need a matte that's gonna stay put. It's not gonna like disintegrate, because sometimes these matte shadows, you put them on your eyelid and they like poof, it's like smoke. It's like, where did it go? These ones don't do that. They're nice and pigmented. You don't even need a whole lot. So that's wonderful. The metallics are so creamy. They go on nice and opaque. I don't know that I love this color combo I did. I feel like it looks very holiday-esque. I feel like I should have just gone with like a traditional green, but I wanted to do something different. You guys know I'm always trying to get outside of my monochromatic box. So I tried, y'all. I really, really did. And of course, as always, I want to do more looks with this palette, so hopefully I'll be able to find some time for that. But overall, I think it's a stunning palette. If you're a fan of the brand, I think this is one of the best ones they've done. And I really like the color story, and you get a lot of fun shades. So even if you're like a neutral gal wanting to dip your toe into the color pool, this is going to be a good way to do that. Otherwise, if you love colorful eyeshadows like me, I feel like this palette has enough variety for you to play around and try some fun things. So overall, very, very happy with the Cozy Cabin collection from Simply Posh. Like I mentioned, this is launching on the 6th at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. and you can use my affiliate code KHMAKEUP to save. If you guys have any other questions, definitely let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I'm going to have more new videos this week, so if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you very soon. Bye, friends!